everyone. This is Curtis at Ace Per Head Studios. We're going to go over last night's fight between Canelo and Yildirim. Man, February's dropped a double stinker on us, hasn't it? Two whammies. First it was a Super Bowl, and now it was this fight. And sadly, last night's fight made the Super Bowl look exciting. 3 rounds of seeing a professional fighter going for the title doing this. Last time I checked, you can't win a fight like that. I totally understand. This is a professional fight. It's dangerous. Maybe he got scared. Maybe he got intimidated. Maybe he froze up. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in his circumstances. I don't know what's going on in his head. But it just felt like a cash grab. Felt like he wasn't even coming to the fight. I mean, Yildirim's style is to come out hot and heavy and aggressive. But he was passive. He didn't even land a power punch until the 3rd round. So for us, who are paying to watch this, it would have been the same as just dropping a heavy bag in the middle of the ring. They stopped the fight, going into the 4th round. His trainer just said, "That's it. I don't see anything out of you." And it was over. That was it. Bad luck for Yildirim. As for Canelo, I mean, people are saying, oh, this is not the top competition, but you can't fault him for it. He was forced to fight him. But one thing we did get to see, I mean, the exhibition that I got, what I got from it was power. I really enjoyed seeing the way Canelo was able to throw punches. Proper technique in throwing power punches is a beautiful thing. You could see how he would get to the balls of his toes, whip his hips into those hooks. Yeah, it got boring after a little bit because it was like a Bill Murray's Groundhog Day, jab, hook to the body, hook to the head, uppercut, and it just kept repeating itself, and he just kept standing like this. But to see Yildirim in that 1st round getting hit so hard he was being driven back, that power was sapping him. And then as his defense fell and the punches started sneaking through, that was the finishing touches. But Canelo's power, for a little guy, he's a small guy. Yildirim was much taller, and it was just, that was the exciting part. You could see that Canelo is just using him as a speed bump for the next match, the next fight against Billy Joe Saunders. That's what everyone's waiting for. Everyone's really waiting, from what I hear, Benavidez. But we have Saunders coming up and that on May 8th, and that should be an exciting one. Now, I know if you're a Canelo fan, this is great. You love to see your guy trash and yell a dude. But for us, maybe for someone who's not a fan of Canelo, maybe they're just casual fan, they paid money for this, it was a real letdown. And I get that. And, for me, I haven't watched boxing in a long time. So this match was actually, this fight was actually a special fight. I had a friend who said to me, why don't you check out the Canelo fight? And it had been, like I said, about 10 years since I've really been into boxing and even UFC. I caught a couple of heavyweight fights and, a couple of special fights along the way. And when he mentioned Canelo, I didn't know who he was. So I began watching film on him, watching his old fights, and it just jumped out that there's something special about this guy. And I got excited, and I really wanted to see the fight stretch out, to see more of him. But what it did, though, this fight tapped back into my heart to want to watch boxing again. Boxing and football are very special sports for me. And I just realized I had forgotten one of my loves for almost a decade. When I was young, I grew up in the 70s and the 80s. I'm just about 50 now. My mother had come up to me as I was mowing the lawn. So I stopped mowing. She's like, I'm going to get this thing called HBO. HBO? What's that? She says, there's a new thing coming out that it's going to be on TV and it's going to be movies 24/7. And she and I would always watch movies. We were movie buffs. And so people who grew up in the 80s and HBO, they all know HBO boxing. HBO boxing was an event. It was huge. So growing up, at the age of 9, 10 years old, I began watching Hearns, Hagler, Sugar Ray. Tyson came up and who became, that was a figure for me. That was my idol as far as boxing in the late 80s. And it was that HBO boxing that had me say, you know what? I need to start training how to fight. And I began to train because of HBO boxing. I played football. I love football. But it was boxing that got another love into me, and that was fighting. And I had forgotten about it. So I'm really appreciative of the Canelo fight against Yildirim. Not obviously for the fight itself, but it's restoked me the love of boxing again and the love of Canelo. I'm officially a Canelo fan. Now, I know, there's all kind of talk out there, people knocking the fights he's had and stuff. And everyone wants to see, as I said before, the Benavidez fight. That doesn't seem to happen. But watching Canelo, there is a part of his style that reminds me of Tyson. The little guy, usually going against taller guys, aggressive, able to slip the jab, moving a lot of motion, able to evade, power punches, hooks, uppercuts. I don't remember a middleweight throwing as many uppercuts. And I'm old, maybe I forgot, but he's very aggressive. And his smarts, he's very smart. I was taken back at his ability to fend, to find openings. There was a couple of fights he had where he slapped down the punch and brought the hand back up. There was a couple times he put his hand in the belly to drop the guard and brought it back. He's a very talented fighter. And for me, man, I want to see. I'm excited to be on the ride, man. See how it goes. See the Saunders fight. Hopefully the Benavidez fight. I still got a lot of fights to catch up on. I'm going to watch all his tape. I caught the Mayweather fight from 6 years ago where he got roughed up. But, Mayweather's Mayweather. What can you say? His only loss is against Mayweather. So anyway, I'm a football guy who's forgotten his second love, which is boxing. So I'm very grateful for the beatdown of Yildirim. Somehow, some way, it's brought me back on the wise path of boxing. And I'm really excited coming up May 8th. Well, this is Curtis at Ace Bread Studios, wrapping up the Canelo Yildirim fight. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, contact aceperhead.com today and take your bookie business to the next level.